How you guys doing? It's episode 2 of Skyrise podcast. It's your co-host King Duncan.
Henry Walker, how y'all doing?
Great to see everybody today. We're gonna get straight into it. So the first question, obviously, first topic I got for you, Henry, as far as playoff pressure, right? With the NBA 2025 NBA playoffs taught us about leadership legacy. All right. First question. Which players solidified their legacy this postseason? Next question, who underperformed and why? And then the last question, are super teams still the blueprint or are depth and chemistry the new gold?
Well, for that first question, um, somebody that's really solidifying their legacy right now is Jalen Brunson. He's really turning into one of those guys that can really be considered, a real king of New York. You know what I'm saying? There was Patrick, and there was Melo after that, and now you guys got Jalen Brunson, man. I think he's 30 points a game, shooting 43 from the field, uh, 8 assists, 4 rebounds. He's doing his thing, really clutch, and he's really the heart and soul of that team. Another dude is Anthony Edwards. I mean, I think he's continuing on from what he did last year, and it's just poetic that he's actually playing against Golden State and hearing the things that were said about him in the pre-draft process with him and his exchange with Steve Kerr about how he was working and all of this. Now, this is a guy that you could have had on your squad right now, and he's a thorn in your side playing in Minnesota. I think that was the year they took Wiseman. I think, was it?
I believe so.
Right. So and now it's coming back to bite you. This dude is a true nightmare, man. I mean, to me, he's developing at such a rapid pace. Like his floor game is phenomenal. He can get to any spot he wants to. He's got great poise. He's got great move. He can shoot the lights out of the ball, and he's overly athletic, man. Like that's a combo that's very, very dangerous, especially this time of year where you can't really draw up anything that the other team hasn't seen. It's just, can you beat your matchup? And he's proven that there's not a lot of guys in this league that are going to be able to keep up with him. Um, I did I like Julius too, man. Julius is I know that the swap for him and Cat happened, but I really think that Julius is a pretty underrated guy, Julius Randle. He's one of those dudes that just goes to work. He doesn't have the flash and the flair of some of the other guys that share the position. But bro, when we look at the game, dog, he's a real man out there. He's a man child, and he's doing what he wants, man. And that lefty too. The lefties have such a weird advantage in basketball because I mean you're just used to playing against your whole life because the majority of players are right-handed. And now when you got that left hand and you quick with it and he's super strong, man, you can get anywhere you want. And he's showing that his game's evolved too. He's not just a bull in the china shop back down player, man. He's showing that he's got a floor game as well. So I think those three guys have really kind of stood out for me as far as just guys that are solidifying their legacy this postseason.
I agree. I agree, bro. Julius Randle, his game is just like, I feel like watching him, the minute that the playoffs started, the minute it started, he slipped to another gear. It's like,
Yes, sir.
Nobody was expecting it. Nobody was expecting him to play at that level, man. And he's playing like a vet. You know what I mean? Like, all
For
that
sure.
all that stuff I was talking, that shit went away because he's like, this nigga hoop. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, it's just coming down now. Everybody know the play, so you call a play. It ain't a set that you ran that they don't know. None of that works.
Right.
I toss the ball to you, and can you get by this guy? Can you break down their defense by getting by the guy that's guarding? And they doing that. They doing that for sure.
No, 100%, 100%. I guess the next part, and you'll stress who do you think underperformed?
I mean, as far as like just overall play, it's kind of hard because you got to understand that when you're the guy for your team, that the whole scouting report is geared up to stop what you do. They're trying to make other people beat you. But I can tell you a team that underperformed, just flat out, just deflated. Cleveland. You go all year, making a lot of noise, man, making a lot of noise, running through the league on the east side. Um, and then we get to this spot in the playoffs where you run through Miami, talking mess to Miami. Yeah, it's fun and games. Then you get with a scrappy team like Indiana that they don't really care who they playing. They're trying to, they're trying to do their thing. They got a guy in Tyrese Halliburton, which another guy that's solidifying himself. He is one of those dudes that can control the game. Like when you got a guy that can control pace, like Derrick Rose, Rondo, those guys that are one man fast breaks, like Russ Westbrook. Well, he's a one man fast break, but he's also a traditional point guard in the standpoint of if he doesn't have it, the next 16 seconds, 17 seconds, you got to guard actions.
Mm-hmm.
And he's totally you know just killed Cleveland. And I just think just Cleveland really underperformed. Boston really disappointing. And with Tatum's injury, it's looking like all the work that they put in this year might be for nothing. But you can't have a team down 20 points, man, and uh, come in the same street, right? So that just shows me the total lack of focus. Because it happens. You get up and you're thinking like, man, let's just do it, right? Instead of saying, hey, let's go 30, let's go up 40. I just felt like they didn't have a killer mentality and they underperformed. And the Lakers too, man. Like you got Luka. I know Bron's up there in age, but still he's top billing around the league. They had a nice punch going into the playoffs, but I think we're starting to see that a lot of the things that Nico didn't like about Luka, or that upper management didn't like about Luka, coming to head. He does not play defense.
Right.
And he's wonderful. He's fantastic talent. He just gives you zero on the defensive end. Like if he could just move his feet, box out, something, give us some life on that end. You know what I mean? But
Right.
those would be the underperformance for me.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. And I would say, obviously, you broke that down perfectly. Ain't nothing even really to say on that, man. As far as our super team still the blueprint, or our depth and chemistry the new goal? What you think?
I think depth and chemistry, because now the league is they're playing at such a fast pace that you actually need a brigade, man. You can't just go in there. I think Milwaukee's learning that the hard way. Lakers are learning that the hard way, right? Injuries are going to happen. They're going to happen. 82 is a long stretch, especially when you're playing every night. You're playing hard. You're trying to build up to the playoffs. It's a game of luck and chance, right? So in order to ensure your chances of making a long run, you have to have good role players. You just do. I mean, the stars are going to cancel each other out for the most part. They're going to perform, but it's everybody else that you fill that team out with. I mean, because we look back, 2010, the Heatles, right? They had three of the top players in the league, but if those other guys don't perform, you're not going to win those titles. It isn't LeBron and them making those plays. It's Ray Allen. It's it's the other guys. It's Mike Miller making shots, right? Because the big threes are going to the big guys are canceling each other out. They are, and you
Right.
need depth. You need good role players, and you need guys to buy in and do what they do. Do your job. Don't do anything extra, and it'll fit like a puzzle piece. So, for me, it's not about being top heavy, because what we're seeing now, the league is changing again in front of our eyes. These teams that load up on stars, they're getting beat by teams that have more talent spread out, right? And we just saw we're seeing that right now in Boston with just two-headed monster of Brown and Tatum going up against, New York, that have a range of guys, Bridges, Hart, Towns, Brunson, Robinson. We got OG. What's his name? McBride, right? They got a gang of guys to throw out there, right? So for me, it's having that depth and having that chemistry will always be better than having a top with just a team of stars at the top.
For sure. Man, appreciate your input on that one. All right. So from my perspective, which players solidified their legacy this postseason? You spoke on a couple guys, right? Obviously, I would say number one, Anthony Edwards. You know what I'm saying? I would say in the manner of how he came into the game, the confidence level, and then the year after year of improvement, right? It kind of gives me goosebumps in the Jordan-esque vibe. I don't want to say it too, but people don't understand. Jordan was in the NBA getting better and better as he was there. You know what I'm saying? Knowing that he was that guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just like you said, the Steve Kerr comment, right? For him to use that as fuel and, kind of assert himself, he solidified himself as the next LeBron, the next KD, the next Stephen Curry. We all know they got to go soon. They've been in for a while. He solidified that he ranked the front runner, right? He's one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Next person, obviously, I didn't expect Jalen Brunson. I'm not gonna lie to you. I didn't expect him to play with such poise. You know what I'm saying? To play with such poise and then such patience. Because normally people who are slower, they work so hard to prove that they're fast.
Yeah.
But for him, he came in slow and said, man, y'all gonna play at my pace. I'm not moving at y'all's. And by God, I mean, he came in the NBA with such a force. Certain players can change the game to mold to their game.
Yeah.
So, and I'm saying this, but it's like to say it and then see it, it's crazy because I didn't even expect it.
He's another lefty.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like the lefty, the tough shots is just incredible. And I also would say, like you brought up Julius Randle. I think that he's been in the NBA, he's been there, but nobody really could see how skilled he was until now. You know what I'm saying? He's always doing it, but he really has his arsenal of, man, I'm a veteran. I do this, Like I'm one of these guys that you can depend on night in and night out. So I would say Anthony Edwards, Jalen Brunson, Julius Randle, obviously Halliburton, Indiana, what he did there, what he continued to do. And I think that those guys definitely stand out. Now, like you said, I will come for underperform. I will kind of focus on, in a sense, a team more easier, like kind of what you did in a sense. I would say 100% the Lakers underperformed, right? 100%
for sure.
For sure. I feel like JJ Redick was a big part of his learning curve, was a big part of them losing. Only reason because when it got down to needing to mix it up, he didn't have confidence in his players to experiment enough to know, like, this is the NBA. You know, everybody here can play.
Yeah, it's just figuring out who can play with what lineup. And yes, he held those cards to his chest. I think he played those guys just too much, man. And
He did. Yeah. He had all his hopes and prayers on them. And to be honest with you, back in the day, that would have worked. Right?
yeah,
Back in the day,
yeah,
it would have worked. That would have worked. He would have been fine. But you ain't got a young buck. You ain't got you got one young dude, but you have no center.
none. And that's a very vital. You need somebody to close out possessions. I don't know what I don't care what you call them, center, whatever. Somebody has to rebound. Somebody has to protect the paint, right? As much as this game is spreading out, right? It's creating lanes to the basket because everybody can shoot. So now the
Right.
paint is open. You need somebody to protect the paint, and
Somebody.
that's why, like, I don't understand why they let JaVale McGee go. You had these guys. I don't know if they wanted more money. I don't know the situation behind that, but when Anthony Davis was at his best and he wasn't getting injured as much, wasn't playing against fives. So people don't understand what he was saying with that. He's not trying to bang with Valanciunas. He's not trying to bang with you know what I'm saying, Rudy Gobert. He's not trying to do that. For 82 games, of course you're gonna get hurt. He ain't got the physical makeup to do that. But he does have the physical makeup to go against Pascal Siakam, maybe Mobley, some of these forwards where he's the bigger person, or he's what I mean, just more physical person, and he can put his will on them. But I think they made the wrong move, just period. And then I understand you getting a star and Luka coming back. I get it, but I just don't think that was the right move for LA. It just had to come with an ask like, why are you trying to get his kid to be like this? Like, you get what I'm saying? They knew something we didn't know.
I feel like as a GM, right, as a person in charge of acquiring players, right? If you had, like you said, JaVale McGee, right? JaVale McGee just recently, not too long ago, committed to go to Puerto Rico. So, in what world do you not acquire a guy like JaVale McGee? Like, in what world? Like, this all kind of comes down to the people who run in the front office having another.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it couldn't have been winning. Like, they can say it was winning, that they had a goal of winning, but I can't think that these people who are competent would have thought they had a chance at winning by not getting it
Without. And again, who knows? There's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the doors that us as players aren't privy to, that we don't understand. Like I said, a lot of this stuff is relationship based.
Yeah.
A lot of this stuff is favor. I mean, it is what it is. Just like in any business field, you know what I mean. There are politics with this. So
yeah, it's a politics game, man. You're 100% right. You know more than definitely know more on the subject. Now, as far as the last question about super teams and the blueprint, and as far as depth and chemistry, is that the new gold? I agree with you. I say that the super team aspect, it just, as of right now, it needs to be put to the side. With the birth of LeBron James, with the birth of the KGs and the Ray Allens and the Paul Pierce and the actual successful big threes. I'm not talking about the unsuccessful ones. That's a shot in the dark, brother. Like, big threes winning was a trend. like obviously the biggest people think Golden State Warriors won because they had a big three. Golden State Warriors had a complete team.
Yeah,
Man.
top to bottom.
They had a complete team. Sean Livingston, they had, coming off the bench, they had Steph, Clay, Draymond, they had so many pieces, man, and that's why they won. They had the image of a big three for the social eyes, but in the core, they had a whole team.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? So I would say, yeah, 100%. I think that was always what everybody wants. But I think some coaches did get sidetracked and try to go for the big three, some all the franchise. So I would say, yeah, definitely chemistry. So the next section, all right, let's talk about these NIL deals, man. High school, college, does it help or does it hurt? That's what they say, right? First question. Are NIL deals improving players' futures or creating distractions?
Are they improving the players' futures? I mean, it's a bit of both. I feel like it's a bit of both because we want to play for the love of the game. We want to do what we got to do to increase our stock in the game, and at the same time, you want to get paid, right? But I feel like just having too much of this, having too much of this at a young age can really be a distraction. I mean, we're looking at an example of Mikey Williams. Um,
You said Mikey.
Yeah, Mikey Williams is a guy that comes to me that I can think of during this era with high school being able to
yeah, 100%. Man, and it's actually crazy, man. Honestly, it's just crazy, just because it's like money can do a lot, but it can be a hell of a distraction given
for
to
sure.
you know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's a great example. That hit right to the spot, man. But I also think, in another aspect, it does help. I use the kid as example again. The kid Armando Baycott, he got that opportunity, and he took that. You know what I'm saying? He helped out his family, he
Yeah.
did what I'm saying? Like those situations, I would say it's a 50-50, but you can't keep something away because a few guys can't have control.
Oh, for sure, for sure. It just for me because we know that when you put money into the game, here comes all the BS. Here comes all the leeches. Here come all the deviants. Here come all the people looking for a handout, looking to steal, looking to do all of this and that. And at that age, being in high school, it's hard for them to tell their high school coach that, for they're coming to train instead of going to a workout in the middle of the summer for a season that's months away. So I don't imagine a kid, having to navigate this type of money, man. And then you got to have a really strong team. You got to have a lot of way. And some situations, sadly, these young men are at the head of the table at such a young age that once they get this money, their income surpasses any man that's in that house. And it creates a situation where if they're not led the right way, where they're looked at as the head of that house. What I'm saying?
No, 100%. It can go bad. It can go bad very fast if the wrong people are at the helm, right? And But I feel like it's also a blessing because a lot of these guys, their parents are going to come in eventually and mess it up, right? So,
I mean, yeah, you could.
Eventually, not all, of course. There's some good parents out there that can
Yeah,
raise their kids right.
yeah, there will be some that can't control themselves, like they're old.
Right. So they're going to show their hand eventually. So to me, NIL give these kids to a chance to spend their time to get their parents right. You know what I'm saying? Um, Give us a second, guys. We'll get him right back. Yo, brother.
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, back. Yeah. So, what I was saying was, as far as just the parents, as far as it gives it, I feel like if I had some trials and tribulation with my mom with money in high school, we fought over some bread. She did some crazy stuff, right? We got my whole college career to fix that problem, right? While I still need my mom, and while it's beneficial for her to get her stuff right to build a relationship, right? Think about that. Like these kids still need their parents in college. Like it's a recipe for kids to fix their relationships and eventually get good with money. Hopefully. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it's a bad thing. I don't think it can go left, in my opinion. Now the next question, right? How should young athletes handle sudden income and fame? From your opinion, how should these young athletes handle these situations?
Bro, if in all actuality, man, I tell these kids to run away from it, man. The fame part, just run away from it, man. Like I grew up around probably one of the most famous basketball players coming up, man. And you just can't go nowhere, bro. Just can't. I mean, we everywhere we went, everywhere we played, it's a crowd. It's just all these people just trying to just get around us, trying to talk to
Y'all
us,
had
try-
ropes, had the white ropes.
man, trying to represent us, bro. It was nuts, man. It was nuts. Throwing money at us, like
I remember, man, the white ropes, man.
I just thank God that like my moral compass was very different from my how can I say this from my from my contemporaries, my fellow players. Man, I wasn't driven off of trying to get over on somebody or get a quick check from somebody. I mean, the game is the game. A lot of these agents were doing shicey stuff back in the day, paying people under the table. Listen, I didn't want no part of it because I was smart enough to know that, man, if they're willing to do this right now, what happens when you say no after you said yes?
Mm-hmm.
Right? They got something on you.
Right.
Um, if they're willing to give you this, then what how much do they really have?
Right. Exactly. So they gotta give you something to still have some stuff for themselves.
Right. So I was like, nah, I just rather not play the game, man. I'd rather not play the game. There was a time in I'll get this a little bit of information now. I won't name any names, but there was a situation where um, there were a few people that came to a couple of us at the top of this thing. They wanted to form a collective and a team, and they wanted us to forego going to college. Oh, forget that. Just go right out of high school right now. Y'all can take these classes. You can get your high school diploma, but we gonna go on the road. We gonna go all over Europe playing. Sort of what LaMelo Ball and them did. You remember?
Right. Yeah, I
All
know.
of this stuff that none of that's new. Okay, none of these ideas are new. These ideas have been pitched, and nah, we good. Right.
Right.
But anyway, that situation is brought up to us. We were in New Jersey. We got called up to a meeting, big meeting. Oh man, these guys are interested. Da, da, da. The only thing was that if we were to do this, that we had to be backed by a certain financial firm. And once we jumped from this to the NBA, these would be our partners, our representation,
Branding, everything.
branding. You get it?
Mm-hmm.
Why? You know, right?
Sure.
So you're gonna pay me money that I already got coming to me and act as if you're giving me a gift, right?
Right.
So
Exactly. It sounds like an OTE situation, except OTE would be paying these guys, right? You
as
know.
they should. You're using these kids' name, image, likeness. You got them playing on Prime. These kids should get paid, right? They should. They should. There's a kid here that trains at next level, Caden Daughtry. He's a youngin, but he's the youngest guy in OTE, and he's killing it, right? A lot of these guys are older and about to leave. He's really the new breed.
Right.
He get compensated,
Right.
right? Any college that he goes to, are they not going to put his name on that placard, on that sticker, on that poster? You're going to sell him. Why can't he get a cutoff of who he is?
What he worth right now? It's man. I actually heard Mike Krzyzewski speaking on a podcast today, and he verbatim said that the NIL is making guys pros early. You know, it's making them carry pros early.
How much money has Mike Krzyzewski made off the backs of these young men that went to his university? Let's talk about that. Let's talk about these coaches who've become multimillionaires while their players were starving, while their players couldn't wash the clothes in the basketball facilities. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about these players surviving off Pell Grants.
Pale money. Oh my God.
Let's talk about it because I hate the ignorance. I hate it. I hate that when they get in there, they wanna act all too like Nick Saban. Come on, man. How many millions of dollars have you made off the sweat of these young men, bro? So
Right.
they can't get none? Oh,
Right.
now the game is messed up.
Now ruin the game. Right now.
Now the game. Oh, they becoming pros early. It was fine when you were getting all the money. Now they got some power. It's only fine when you got all the power and you can hold it over their head. Yeah, I won't play you. You won't get to the NBA. You gonna do what I say. You can't do that no more. I'll just leave and I'll go get paid. Right? So yeah, the game has changed. Now you gotta really coach. Now you gotta really be about what you say about when you go and recruit these kids, right?
Because they gonna leave.
Because these kids will leave.
Right.
You can't just recruit them and bring them in and you become a new person. That ain't the person that recruited me. That wasn't the person that sat in my house, right? I'll leave. Ain't no you gotta wait a year. Nah, the game is the game. The game is the game. It's the same game as it's always been, right? Same game as it's always been.
100%, man. I would say about from what I was heard, he was talking about it in the aspect of, and I understand he still made a bag over that time. But he was talking about saying that NIL was the best thing that ever happened to basketball. That's what he said. You know what I'm saying? From an aspect of saying that he think that it's actually improving the level of play. He's saying people are playing, they're buying in. It's like some people say different. If you talk to a guy like Rick Pitino, he may not say the same. You know what I'm saying?
But you got these old archaic coaches. Rick Pitino was I mean, in all respect, like I'm not disrespecting him because I want to be a coach one day as well, right? But this is a new generation of players. Rick Pitino coached Ron Mercer, did he not?
I believe so. Let's check that.
Yeah, let's check that because I want everybody to understand how far these people span, bro. How long their reach is. Let's check that.
Let me see. Let's check that. Get this up right quick. Ron Mercer, yes, he did.
Right, so he coached from Ron Mercer, and if anybody's old enough to know who that was, baller, right? All the way from we talking Ron Mercer, Antoine Walker, right? All the way up until 2025, and you telling me what? I know he loves coaching. I get it. but you can't. It's not going to stay the same, bro. It's not going to be the same like 95, 99, all the way up. It's not. The game is changing.
Yeah, it's different, man. It's changed for the better, man. And I feel like if you say all these old, dinosaurs, they gonna have to catch on because brothers getting paid. Now obviously there's gonna be instances where we're gonna have cases where it goes above and beyond with some of these players and what they want, but it's a part of how it is. The next question that I have for you is: are high school NIL deals a gateway to success or chaos? We kind of answered it earlier, but we tie back in.
I mean, it depends. It really depends on the person. That's just period. If you guys, I mean, that's regardless if it's high school, college, or NBA. It depends on the person. If they're a reckless person, they're gonna be reckless with money. They're gonna be reckless without it. If they're unfocused individual, they're gonna be unfocused with money, and they're gonna be unfocused without it. Like it's the person. It ain't just because I hated that they put that rule in. You can't jump straight to the league out of high school when you can go play tennis. You can go play tennis at 14. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like I really think that I'm the first casualty of that rule, bro.
Yeah. Y'all should have went. Both of y'all should have went, bro. Y'all should have went.
But I'm dead serious. I think I'm the first person, like for real. Before that rule was in, my draft stock, bro, I was for sure lottery. Coming out of high school, top of my class for sure. They put the rule in. I go to college, tear my knee up. Right? I'm pretty sure I'm the first casualty of that rule. Now, I'm not petty like that. I could have sued. This is, this is impractical. This is some type of prejudice, right? It's got to be. You look at any other league, baseball can go, right?
Right, 100%. Why not?
Golf can go. What's the difference between them and this sport?
So many brothers was coming up making money. They had to throw a little,
And you said it. That may be what it is because I'm trying to really grasp why that rule is. What does 1 year in college make? What difference
What does it help, right? What's the difference?
What difference does that really make? Do you think Cooper Flag was going to be any different than a year from now? Do you think Cooper Flag in the league right now, just played a year in the league, would have been better off going to Duke or playing for the team he's in the pros?
The same exact player.
Come on, man. Like, what are we talking about?
We already know that guys coming to college already ready. They already got their game.
And that's why you recruit them. That's why you recruit them to these Power Fives, right? Because they ready.
Right.
So you telling me a freshman coming in at a Power Five and they give the keys to the university to not ready to go to the league? Like I said, it's crazy. But this thing depends it's on a personal level, person to person.
Wasn't you was you in the same draft as Beasley?
Yeah.
Come on, bro. Y'all, come on, think about it, right? That year.
It could have been 10 of us straight out of high school.
10 of y'all. Like it was so many of y'all that
it was let me run the list for you. It was Kevin Love was in our class, Derrick Rose, Eric Gordon, OJ, Mike. It was me. We had DeAndre Jordan. We had JJ Hickson was in that class. I'm pretty sure I'm missing some other folks, man. But I know for sure it was about 10 of us that could have really made the jump, just physicality wise. And we was ready. Our games fit NBA more than it did college, and I really think like, had that rule not been in place, man, it would have been a lot different for a lot of cats, man. A lot of cats.
For sure. I mean, I got a question for you because I tore my meniscus. I had an injury, had to go back to school, played overseas on an injury, right? Just because I'm not gonna not play. So playing on a leg, right? Knowing that you used to do what you used to do and being at the highest level, knowing that you gotta change your game. How was that feeling? Like knowing that, man, I gotta tap into all kind of other ways of scoring that I didn't even have to do before.
I mean, my game was rounding out anyway. I was starting to, do more things on ball. But those injuries, bro, it really took away a lot of quickness, a lot of explosiveness. Because like people don't realize, like I was fast too. I was fast. I had speed. I had a lot of quickness, and I was rounding out my game, figuring this thing out, becoming a better shooter. I was doing all these things. And then the thing that really wore on me, it wasn't physically, bro. It was just mentally. Like watching guys, like, because once I had like, before I got to the league, bro, I had probably 4 major surgeries. Then I got 3 major surgeries in the league in the off seasons, bro. So most of my time was just rehabbing. But I'm like mentally, I'm watching guys like, man, like they healthy.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like, damn, I know, like, bro, if I was healthy like that, I would be fucking killing, bro. I know, and that's the part that like, but I had to. But for me, it was like, damn, bro, like I had to recondition myself because, like, all right, that part's over with because I don't have those features no more, right?
Right.
And the part was like, the more I pushed, the more I pushed my body to try to get back to that, the more I kept getting hurt.
Trying to push yourself to get there, right?
Yeah, because everybody tell you, oh, you gotta dig deep, you know what I mean? Yeah, I'm about that life. That's all I've known, right? So I'm trying to get to that, and I'm basically tearing myself up instead of, bro. I should have been doing more preventive stuff. I remember just having conversations with some of these training staffs. Hey, man, do you think I should be doing the same thing that that person's doing with my history of injuries? Oh, no, you'll be fine. So I'm like, you're not going. We shouldn't be doing something more specialized to like cater to
Yeah, more different,
what I
right?
got going
Injury
on. No,
prevention.
no, 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 no. You'll be fine because they don't. You're not a star. They don't care. Like you just another number in here. We'll run them in and out. So it got to that point where I was like, man, I don't know if I want to be a part of this circus no more, man. And then I had a shot to show my stuff, and I proved that, bro, I can, when I get a chance, when I ain't gotta look over my shoulder and I can just hoop like you letting certain folks hoop, I can put points on the board. You know what I'm saying? So I proved that to myself. I proved that to the people around me. So I mean, I got respect from people I play with. They know what I put into it. They know how hard I worked and
Hey, bro, from my perspective, the there's people who are within that time frame, right? And I'm 34. So 34 on up, Mike Beasley, OJ, Derrick Rose, Eric Gordon, Bill Walker, all these names are synonymous to, what I'm saying, dudes who were that generation of guys. You know what I'm saying? Like the kind of willpower to keep playing in the NBA when you want to go baseline and do a 360 windmill, but your body is telling you to do a layup. That's a lot of mental strength, bro. I'm telling you, like, cause you like, man.
But the thing is this is what's so crazy. I still had bounce.
Bro, I
But it just
saw.
wasn't what it was. Because, bro, like when I tell you, I could think of something. I could go and do it in game. Like I could pull it off, and it would be stuff that people would be like, bro, why would you even try that? Nah, because I can land that. Like, bro, it was nothing, bro. I used to tell OJ before the games, like, man, I'm a reverse windmill on somebody today. Huh? Yeah, bro. Watch this. I'm a reverse. Watch on in traffic. He like, all right. He'd get a steal just to set it up. and I just jog a little bit, let him catch up. Then I jump, and I'm jumping, turning my back to him, and I know whoever it is got to be like, yo, what the hell is this dude?
Right.
Right. So I'm jumping in the air, and I'm turning my back the whole time. I'm winding that joint up for the windmill. I didn't finish backwards on motherfucker. Boom, bro! I shut a tournament down in North Carolina doing that. Ref said, "Nah, man, we out of here."
Which tournament was it? Was it Bob Gibbons?
No, it wasn't Bob Gibbons. It was I think John Wall's people had put something together. We were real close with John Wall's folks, man. Another good dude, bro.
Yeah, great dude, man. From what I hear.
Man. I gotta tell you a story about him too. But we were down there with his people. They were D1 Sports. We were D1 Greyhound.
Yeah,
Right. So
right,
it was like, you know what I mean? It was a little brotherhood in that. It was a tournament down there where we went down there to play them. John and them was a little younger than us, but John played up. You know what I mean? Just to get some work in, and you know, his people were, you know, asking OJ's grandfather about, you know, how to navigate this thing and things of that nature. So it was a lot of currency exchange between the two organizations. And I actually, working for Reebok, being endorsed by Reebok, he came out with the zigzags, right? And he laced me and allowed me to get a bunch of player exclusives with the shoe. So, you know, that was pretty dope. So, you know, I always salute John, man. Every time I seen him, he's always showing love, bro, and he's a solid dude, bro.
Nah, for sure, man. I mean, he's another dude that was an influential influence, you know, coming, and it probably comes from watching guys like you and OJ, you know what I'm saying, hoop and being around it, you know what I'm saying? Like, this shit matters, man. Like, and honestly, to me, I feel like if enough people got together, there would be specific, if there was a petition put out that people, certain players deserve a contribution based off their known media NIL valuation from a certain time point, based off of the shit that they known that they offered. The people got the money. They got the money, right?
Sure.
Like, I really think, bro, that should happen.
Like, for instance, me, Mike Beasley, Jake, there's a couple of us at Kansas State that kind of, before we were there, nobody had heard of them since Mitch Richmond. In all respect to all my brothers in purple, all respect. I'm not trying to diss nobody. I'm just giving you factual stuff. All right, giving you factual stuff. Their years of dominance were behind them. So far behind them, 20. It was generations of folks hadn't seen Kansas State good. You get what I'm saying? People had lived their whole
100%.
lives not seeing that ball club any good. How much do you think that school made off of me and Mike Bees and Jake Pullen?
Ticket sales?
Ticket sales, merchandising, just being able, now you can come out here and sell your stuff just around it because there's people here now. There's a fluctuation of talent here, and you know, how much do you think?
I would say I want to say a number, but I only could compare it to one school, like let's say what Colorado made for football, right? I would say close to them numbers. Probably not as crazy, but close to them numbers because obviously football is different than basketball. But
For sure.
I would say around those numbers. Let's see what Colorado football made in 2025, just so I can have a round number. You know, made from ticket sales. 2024. So I think they made about 8 million.
About 8 million.
8 million. So
let's just say K-State made about 6-7 million. That's ticket sales. What about, we add merchandise, right? You got to add donors now coming, they believe now, wanting to be a part of this thing, right?
I would say more than 8 million, technically,
right?
because Mike Beasley and you, some of the top 10 players in the country.
Right. So No, I'm not saying the rules are the rules. That rule wasn't in effect when I was in school. I get it. Cool. And
It's just crazy.
I'm not I'm not saying that I'm owed anything, right? But I'm saying that business is business. And I think that all the guys should be compensated.
And I agree with you.
Bob
Every guy,
Boozer.
every alma mater.
What about Bob Boozer that wore the jersey before Mike? You see what I'm saying? He should get something. He got legacy there. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that you should go bankrupt paying everybody, but some of your guys that you know for a fact
Contributed to the success of this
contributed
organization.
to carrying the torch for the university. I mean, you should. Now, I love K-State. Great people over there. I'm actually enrolled in school there, right? Went through the basketball program. I haven't played there 17 years. Went directly to the basketball program. And I'm back, right? So I'm not saying this as a person that's bitter or anything of that nature. I'm speaking just totally from a perspective of we're in the NIL era.
Business is business.
And business is business. And if the NCAA is gonna say the cutoff is 2015, where are you getting your calculations?
Right.
Why will you retroactively pay people all the way back to 2015? Why stop there? Now,
No.
we know the NCAA has been making billions of dollars, right?
Right.
Okay. So why stop there?
I mean, bro, honestly, I feel like this is a version of like reparations. You know, I feel like, but the difference is, right? I look at reparations when they think about how it happened so long ago. There's literally people, if they were given the opportunity to get their value of the time that they've been, the crazy part is we young, bro. Y'all still here. You know what I'm saying? We young. So it's like for dudes to be in their 30s and contributed so much, and they gotta watch just based off of technicality that these youngins who weren't don't even like think about it. Dudes who going to K-State, bro, right? Who wasn't even close to your level.
I've had this conversation on Twitter earlier this year. And no offense to the gentleman. The game is the game, like they say, right? The game is the game. No offense to the gentleman. But I said, at that price, bro, and in the position you play, it's different if you were, you're the position you play, you're a front court player. They know. They've seen it. You can't fool them people. You can't fool them people. And you getting paid, right? So now you're not even a college basketball player no more. You're a hired gun, right?
Right.
They pay you a certain amount of money, man. They want to see return on investment, like
100%.
any investor would. You see what I'm saying?
100%.
That's all I was saying. I ain't mean to ruffle nobody's feathers, but I'm watching this team play this season and really look lifeless to a certain extent, to the point that where some of the people was um questioning Coach Tang. I'm like, nah, bro, this still the same coach with the right, like, look, like Papa John say, better ingredients, better pizza.
Right.
Right. They wanted to fire him. Nah, man. You get better ingredients, he'll make a better pizza.
Right. 100%.
These ain't the guys. You seen what he does with the guys. He can make a run. They in Elite Eight. He got guys, bro. He got dudes that can do it. Now, if I'm preaching to you and you ain't trying to hear my message, but I've preached this message and I've seen people run with it, but it doesn't affect you. Is it my message or is it you? The message been proven to work, but not for you. That's fine. So that's what I'm watching. Then I'm watching these dudes, bro. Like, I played for free, and I had more heart, more passion than y'all.
Right, and y'all did. Y'all played for millions,
and y'all getting paid. Like, and I expressed this, bro. I couldn't wash my clothes. Like, bro, I could not wash my clothes in the basketball facilities because they said it was an NCAA violation.
Bro, that is crazy. That's crazy.
I had to go find a laundromat, wash my clothes, or find somebody that lived off campus, paid them to wash the clothes, right? Had to go work an odd job to get some money. It wasn't really nothing. Relying on a Pell Grant or whatever grant you could get. Living off of the dorm food, the training table there. It was a struggle, bro. Like, but these guys are getting paid, bro, and I love it. But at the same time, bro, too much is given, much is expected of.
Yeah,
And
I mean, dudes got to be able to take the criticism that if you wake up, you are in. I was in college too, bro. I know the Pale life. I know the dorm food. I know that. I know this. You know, I went to a D2 and I went to a JUCO NAI. I had to move. My grade wasn't that good, so I had to move around. But man, as far as if I was a guy at the D1 level who get to wake up, train, and have $1 million+ in my bank account, you think I'm not going to work out 3 times a day, ice baths, prepare my body like Travis Hunter, right?
yeah,
He's a guy who you can tell I'm working out 3 times a day. I'm in this ice bath and I'm back again.
it's on easy mode. Ain't
Right.
not, what are we worrying about?
Right. What you mad about?
It's just all the only thing here is the work.
Right.
Do you think at that point that you be worried about what some motherfucker saying on Twitter?
Right. Exactly. I'll cut Twitter off and I'm still a millionaire.
That's what they not understanding. So it was a situation where these guys were being affected by what the fans say. Man, you know you can turn all this shit
Oh,
off.
right. This shit that we done.
Stuff. Man, I wouldn't care. I still don't care what people say about me, bro. Like I don't live my life like that. I don't know these people. These people, and if they see me, trust and believe the conversation never goes that way.
Right.
I've never met those people in real life that talk shit like that.
The internet trolls.
I've never met them in real life because what happens in real life is this: when you actually get around somebody and you see their energy, you see their aura or whatever y'all want to call it, you see how they present themselves. I don't present myself like uh I don't present myself like I'm somebody that you can play with in that manner. Because I'm a very respectful person. I give the utmost respect. Right? I don't try to disrespect anybody. Um but I also I'm not playing about mine either. I'm not gonna allow you to disrespect me. Right? I'm not one of them. If I don't know you, and you know, I'm not really a overly outgoing person. Like I'll say hi, but like I've never really been that way because like how I grew up, you know, it was dangerous to do so.
Right.
Right. So, um, I'm not really that type of outgoing type. But if you get to know me, bro, like man, I'll talk your head off, bro. You
Right.
know what I mean? But
No, I'm sure it's all good though.
you know what I'm saying? But I don't get into that. I've never understood that with these devices, bro. And trust me, I've played in New York, I've played in Boston, I've played in places where people chirp, talk shit all day, bro. You understand?
What was
I
the
was
hardest place to play?
probably New York because the fans they just think they know so damn much. You know what I'm saying? This basketball the only sport, man. Like, listen, even when training, bro, like basketball is the only sport where people think that they know more than you.
Mm-hmm. They be in
Like,
the comments going crazy.
bro, like if I went to the dentist, you think I'm in the dentist while he's working on my daughter's teeth? You think I'm in there telling him, nah, man, move the spacer to the nah, you doing it wrong.
Yeah, you're
Go
doing it
this
wrong.
way.
You messing up.
Nah, wrong color, bro. Like you're not doing that. You don't go to the doctor and do that. So while we training, I try to tell the parents. I give them a disclaimer way before we even do our first session. Listen, I give them the analogy of cooks in the kitchen, right? With the men, I don't know if you cook in your house. If you don't, I know for a fact when your wife or your lady is cooking, she's telling you to do what?
Right. Stand aside.
Go ahead and move out the way, right? You messing up the scenery here. You
Right.
messing up the groove, right? Go ahead and just go about your business. I tell the parents, listen, the best thing that you can do is let me be coach and you be parent, right? Don't blur the lines, right? If there's something that you want to do that, but not while I'm in session.
No, for sure. Like, yeah, like I feel like parents want to be. I feel like parents are better off if you are seeking this level of help, right? Now, listen, if you are Jalen Brunson, dad, look at Jalen Brunson. Hey, ain't nobody training my son but me. Look at the products.
He's done it.
He done it.
Again, like you said, he's a professional, right? He's a professional basketball player with experience in the very thing that he's teaching. I'm not no run of the mill dude that didn't play JV, didn't play varsity, and I'm just out here. I read a few things. I read a few things. It ain't like, because there's some trainers that haven't done that, but they've dedicated their lives to being around the craft and have gained experience and know what works, right? Yeah. I'm talking about these dudes, these Joes that just think that, oh, it's so easy a caveman can do it, guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of these. Right. There's a lot of these dudes out here going around. I'm not that. I make that clear. Like, I'm not that. And I teach the fundamentals because there's not a lot of Anthony Edwards out there that are just athletically off the chain. Bill Walker's just athletically off the chain, or Michael Beasley's. Those dudes aren't born. Those dudes aren't just
Right. They're created their homes.
Nah, like as much as Mike will he talk his talk, he puts an extreme amount of work in on his craft. Like Michael talk that talk.
Remember, bro, I'm from DC, so I seen Mike at the shoot back in the day. I'm talking about back in the shoot where before Riverdale, he was at halftime just shooting around, like, so I seen the growth because I played for DC Assault. So I was with Mike and Nolan and all those dudes. I played a young group. So
it just wasn't overnight.
Yeah, we practiced together. We all practiced together. So I seen
it wasn't overnight.
Grind, bro. Like these dudes, like y'all dudes, man, y'all put a lot of.
We dedicated everything that we had to the craft, right?
Everything.
These
pools, all that shit.
These parents and these kids nowadays think this thing is popcorn. They think it's popcorn. Like, oh, you're gonna be there, and in 3 days you're just gonna be this completely different player. How? Some of these skills are developed over years of work, right? But people don't have patience anymore. Like, they don't have patience anymore, man. And that's the thing that I preach. And like, if we're gonna work and we're gonna collaborate, okay, let's have some patience. Let's have some patience. Because we're going to break this thing down to the basic level, because we're going to be fundamentally sound. We're going to be able to use left and right hand. We're going to be able to use triple threat. We're going to make correct passes. We're going to make correct reads. We're going to actually learn how to play basketball, right? And then we're going to be skilled basketball players, because a lot of these kids are out here, they got game, they got, but they just going for highlights. They don't even know how to read the floor. They don't know how to read a screen. They don't know how to
give me an NBA playoff player example of a guy who has all the talent, but he's nothing but straight Euros, dunks, and highlights. What player do you think fit that bill? And who was in playoffs? He lost already. Tell me who you think. I know who I'm gonna say, but who you think?
They already lost?
They already lost. Yeah.
Sheesh. They already lost. So that first round, right? It's got to be a first round.
They lost. It went to a game 7, but they lost. And this player only averaged less than, I think he had one game he had 30, and the rest of them he had less than 10 points. That's the player I'm talking about.
Man, I can't even think of it right now. Went to a game 7 first round.
Houston Rockets.
Oh, Jalen Green.
Yes. 100%, man. Dude, microwave, popcorn.
Now, I've seen the youngin play. I've played in the Philippines, right? He's the pride of the Philippines. He's a very talented individual.
Talented, yes. You're right.
And talented. I remember telling one of my teammates, because they was like, oh, yeah. I said, he might be great. But I'm watching him play, and I'm like, man, he don't read the floor well, bro. But he's gifted. He's gifted.
He's gifted. The thing is, he's going to be in the NBA for a long time because he's just so talented. But the issue is that there's a piece missing that the older guys always put in their game. They didn't move up until that piece was in their game.
But it's reading the floor. Like I watch, just setting up a screen, reading the screen, like a lot of this stuff that a lot of these guys don't got, man. I've played with actual pros that don't know where the elbow is.
That's crazy.
Go to the elbow. Stand on the nail. You know when I say on defense, you need to be on the nail, huh? You don't know where the nail's at? What is it? What is that? Man, I understand how you got this far.
Right.
I understand. Some folks are just the game finals. They just they gifted that way. But damn,
Not to mention AAU. Jalen Green was an AAU baby. Remember, he was one of the first AAU. Whereas the AAU shit was just so much highlighted. You know what I'm saying?
The social media did it.
Yeah, social media it put these players in a position where they was just it was a kid that social media had him killing it. He was from Baltimore. He was like 6'10" G League elite kid, right? And he made it to G League Elite. I have not heard a peep about him for nothing from college.
I think he used to wear like 95 or something. He had handles.
He had handles. He was in the G League Elite around the same time as Jalen Green. I could not remember his name.
He was a guard too, right?
He was like a big guard. Yeah,
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, but I don't know what happened to him. Like because
they get there and they think that the way that they play like that, how they got there, that's not what they're looking for in the league. They're not looking. They got somebody for that. Can you fit a role? Can I plug you and play you here? Right? These dudes don't understand that. They like it's like I say, it's a political game. Can you run to that corner like Nick Young say? How fast can you get to that corner and space the floor? Like for real, because you got to earn all that extra shit, right? Some of these dudes come in the league and they just give it to them because of their draft status, right? But back then you had to earn it. You had to prove. Even though you this and that pick, they're gonna give you ample opportunity. But bro, you got to prove that you nice. You got to prove that you can handle that type of freedom. And that's what it is. Like now, he going back and forth with Draymond, and he just they be doing too much for me. That's it. They be doing too much for me. It's always
man. It's everything. It's the style. It's a lot, man. But I would say let's move up a bit on the next sector, right? And this is associated to one of the GOATs, LeBron James, right?
Okay.
It says Bronny Bryce, the future of basketball families. All right. First question: are basketball bloodlines becoming the new standard?
Yeah, for sure, man. It's a lot of pros having children, and they know the way to get there. For sure, they know the way to get there. They know the training. Like everything has changed as far as development and nutrition. So it's more science behind it. So they know now, like, hey, man, we don't need to be playing all these games. We just need to build our bodies up, build our game up, and strike at certain points. We ain't got to do all that traveling, running around. You already got the name. You just got to show up, show out a few times, and you there, right? So I think it's definitely going to be more basketball bloodlines in the business, right? It's going to become more of a family business over time, for sure.
No, I believe so as well. I mean, and I feel like in saying that it will, because there's more athletes, right, keeping their money, making good investments, right, they're laying down the foundation for that child to grow up. Being able to have a certain lifestyle where he can walk right into his position while they still have their connections.
Right? Yes.
I see that happening a lot more. I would say the next question we got here is, how does being a child of an NBA star affect expectations and pressure?
Yeah, I mean, I can only imagine just how, not even pressure. I can just imagine how annoying that shit's got to be for like Bronny.
Yeah, yeah, that gotta be annoying.
Like
Like,
fuck the pressure, bro. Y'all, it's just annoying as fuck, man. Like, come on, man. He not his dad. We get it. Like, damn, bro. Like, but everybody expecting you to be that. Like, that shit's gotta be annoying. It ain't no pressure. There's no pressure because
the
you're rich already. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying?
he definitely has
And I ain't talking about daddy's money. I'm talking about just
his
him
own
off of him
NIL
doing his
money
thing.
from
He ain't no pressure. You done prove to yourself like you your own man. You can make your own bread, right? Ain't no pressure. What pressure to do what? Be who? Like y'all what's supposed to be LeBron? Nah, man, he ain't there ain't no pressure. It's just it's gotta be to me, it gotta be annoying as hell. I've
I
just
mean,
I look at it.
to me, I'll tell you this, right? And you probably know because you was from that era. I tell you that I remember watching Jordan's kids in the same tournament as you.
We played against him.
You know, I remember the same, and I remember they had the white ropes out for Jordan watching the game.
Yeah.
You know,
It's annoying.
so
It gotta be for them. Oh, everybody think y'all supposed to be them Jordan kids. Like y'all
right.
expecting them to be Michael Jordan.
You remember that, right? I
Yeah,
remember that, and I
we
still
played at the Milk House, man. We played at the Milk House in Orlando playing them boys, and everybody's like, "Oh, that's Jordan's sons," and them. I'm like, "Oh, that's dope. That's
right,
dope." But he not
right.
playing today.
I know.
You see what I'm saying? Like, and I didn't say nothing to him for the simple fact that I know that shit got to be annoying.
No, it definitely do. I would say this. I said they're lucky, right? I said they're lucky because they grew up in an era that wasn't social media. Because if they
Oh, for
were,
sure. Because now they putting belt the ass with the one. They putting belt the ass on him. This social media is crazy, boy. That they put belt the ass on him, and
hey, the other one was smart. You see, the other one, he backed out. He fully behind the scene. I think it's Jeff. Fully behind the
yeah,
scene.
I haven't seen him in a while, bro. I haven't seen him in a while, but it's just again, bro. The social media messing with Larsa Pippen, and it was just doing too much.
Yeah.
Just doing too much.
It's like man, like I feel like you know, I feel like relating it to Bronny. I feel like, bro, for a young man to have a heart surgery, right? Almost think about this. I'm a dad. I got 5 kids, right? Imagine the mental stress of your child having an illness, right? Make us an American, all this thing, he goes to college and this happens, right? Yeah, when he come back, just the fact that he even hooping
Is
is a miracle, right?
yeah, yeah.
And these motherfucking non-hoopers
Talking about he
talking
ain't doing
about
this, he ain't doing that. Like, man, shut up.
like you try to go through a death
Shut up.
experience and come back and hoop. And the thing about it is, it's like he got to have a lot of mental toughness to be able to grind it out in the G, right? Block out the noise, right? No, it's like, and I attested to his father and the way he carried himself as a professional for
Yeah,
his whole career, like
he
that.
brought them boys up the right way for sure.
Right. And it's funny, everybody's seeing that before our eyes. Like when
Yeah.
you raise a child in a structured home.
You gotta listen. I ain't the biggest LeBron fan, right? Because I've had to compete against brother. Um, but I got the utmost respect for him. Like I've seen him work. I've played against bro, and he's nice. All right, I'm gonna give him his all due respect, bro. Like he do it. Like if you had kids and wanted them to have a career playing ball, and you was like, listen, do it the right way for sure, bro, for sure. No, I mean, for him to be such a star that he's at, the discipline that he's got, and I'm not talking about like sports or none of that. I'm talking about all the trappings that can happen off the court, bro.
Like the life decisions, the decisions that I'm not gonna do that.
You see what I'm saying? Like you gotta
Scandal, not an article, not a picture,
nothing, bro. Like
nothing.
not a hit and run, nothing.
You know how hard that is. You know how much self-control you gotta have. You know
Bruh,
that.
you know how many times this man probably wanted to snap out and had to eat it for the sake of the brand to keep things rolling.
Thinking
Right?
ahead, thinking about his family brand. He's thinking about, man, I want to have a lifelong brand.
I give
And
him
this,
respect.
it passed.
I give him respect. He passing it on, and then one aspect you're like, man, it's our league, right? It's a brotherhood, and only the people that earn it should make it. But at the same time, what father wouldn't do that for their son?
Exactly.
You got to be stupid. If I'm in a position and I can put my daughters on, what you think I'm gonna do?
Put them on.
All right. Why would I make you go the hard way when I got the key right here?
Right. You know what I'm saying?
Now, in the midst of that, I gotta show you how this thing go, because you ain't gonna learn the lessons. You're not gonna experience the lessons others are, because you bypassing that. So I gotta teach you, right? But at the same time, hey, a smart person learn from other people's shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's be smart. Let's just be smart. But we say nothing about these owners who own the team, pass it on to their kids.
Right.
Right? Why ain't y'all let somebody else get a chance at it? Maybe this person could have been a better. They don't do that when it comes to that side.
They expect us to do it.
But nah, that's not how it's working. So I saw one side of the argument, I saw the other side of the argument. One side, yeah, he gotta earn it, this and that, he may not be good enough. But the other side, how many of these other jokers been in the league that wasn't good enough? How many other jokers could have got a chance to get in, but they didn't get a chance to get in because somebody owed this agent a favor?
I'll give you one example of nepotism that nobody talks about, and he became a who it is. And
Luke Walton?
There you go. There you go.
Luke Walton? You said what?
Luke Walton. There you go.
I didn't think they heard. I didn't think they heard me.
Luke Walton, man.
Nobody said anything about that. And I'm not saying that they did anything wrong. That's Bill Walton. That's his son. Of course, we supposed to be family, right?
Right.
We supposed to be some big NBA happy brotherhood family, right? So why, when one of our brothers try to bring and incorporate his family into the brotherhood, is it a problem?
Right. 100%, bro. Like,
you know what I'm saying?
And Luke Walton, the thing about it is, right? He wasn't even trying to hide it.
Nah,
he wasn't getting no tick.
What? That's Bill Walton's son. He's gonna make a team somewhere, bro.
But how? Can anybody send me?
Now he wasn't. Now listen. In his defense, he wasn't ass cheeks, bro. He wasn't cakes, bro. He had some game.
He wasn't cake. I'm just saying there's a lot of dudes that was better. And your time was rough. Was a lot of dudes that was nice as shit, but
bro, there was a lot of us that couldn't get on the floor, bro. But the thing is, like, I don't know how to say this without like sounding like I'm feeling a certain way, but I'm gonna say it like this: the game is very, very political, and it's all a power play. If you're not aligned with the right people, it don't matter what you do. Cause say this, for instance, this is my friend, right? And he's got a list of clients, and I want the big fish on that list. He say, well, you want this guy, I need you to get 3 or 4 of these boys. You can pick who you want. If you want him, I need you to get him. I need 3 or 4 of these boys before I can give you the big fish. Or I'm gonna go take him somewhere else, right? All right, cool. Boom, 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 boom. Now, in the midst of this, these folks gotta play. All right. You gotta. I don't know how.
Or this college?
This is the league.
And this is the agent side.
This is the NBA. This is what they do.
Oh, this is from the NBA team to team decision, from the team to team.
You'll start to see like, dang, why ain't this guy? How he playing and he ain't playing, right? Like, dog, why ain't they playing? Cause right, you see it, you hear the rumblings. I'm just giving you the other side of the curtain, bro. That's how it's a power play. So some of these guys ain't playing because they agent ain't in line with, they talented enough to make it, but they agent don't hold enough power to put the hammer down. Like my guy better play, right? Some of these guys are tied in with agencies that hold power, so they gonna play. They gonna get contracts they don't deserve. You seen some people get paid, and you like, bro, what?
Yeah, how did he get that? Now, believe me, I've seen it, and I'm not gonna touch on that name because I feel like
I'm not naming names, because at the end of the day,
I feel like there's
I ain't naming names. I'm not naming no names. I'm just saying I've
100%.
seen it. I've heard
There's
it
agents that do their goddamn job
to the
and give
fullest.
their players money. At the same time, and I'm gonna say this guy particular position because I feel like Dennis Schroeder is a bucket. Dennis Schroeder is a fucking bucket. He's German. Is one of the, you ain't never seen a German who come and be able to hoop like that, right?
Yeah.
100%. What the fuck was his agent smoking
when he didn't take that money?
When he take that money, right? His agent's fucked up. Now, from that perspective, I'm saying is that had nothing to do with the play. It just had everything to do with the fact that
he thought he had more leverage than he.
The agent tried to do more than he should. He should have been there like, hey man, take this money.
I think like at that point, it could happen like this, that he may not even have heard about that deal.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying? That agent could have went in there for more money and nah, I ain't even gonna present that to my client. They said, well, fuck, we ain't gonna give it to you then.
Get the fuck out of here.
You don't know. He may not even, his agent may have made that decision for him. Cause you tell me, you come in there and you tell him, listen, man, I got almost $90 million on the table. You want it or not? Oh yeah, somebody's taking it. You think he gonna be like, nah, let me hold out for more? He don't strike me as a guy that's gonna do that. He don't strike me as a guy that's gonna do that. And he was, that's a lot of bread, bro. It's a lot of bread, And I know these agents be doing that. Going in there, renegotiating on your behalf and asking for shit you're not even asking for. And then the negotiations close and you end up not being able to get a deal because this goofy dude then went in there and asked for more than what he should have, right? It happens. It go both ways with this.
Nah, for sure, man. I would only assume, brother. Only assume. Next question on here. And this is I feel like we are kind of touching on this question. I'm gonna move on to the next one. Overhyped or underrated? Scouting in the TikTok era. We can call this TikTok, Instagram era altogether.
Yeah, this shit overrated.
Yeah, our viral highlights creating a false perceptions of player talent.
This shit overrated. All these kids want to do is make a clip. You know how much I've heard that? Oh, man, you done killed the clip, huh? Oh man, you didn't kill the clip, dog. You had a clip. You didn't smoke the clip or whatever. What? That's all they want to do is highlights, but they don't want to make the right play. Everybody looking to make a highlight.
I'm glad. So what you think about this whole one-on-one stuff? You from the right away? What's them this one-on-one stuff?
I mean, if that's how you do it, if that's how you make a living, walking around playing one-on-one, get it in, bro. Like, but as far as the team game, like, bro, that's the reason there's 5 other people on the court, bro. You got to learn how to play the game the right way. The clips will come if you're talented enough. You don't got to try to farm these joints. But this all these kids, like I said, they all walk around like this all day.
Yeah.
All they do.
Trying to catch something.
That's all they do, bro. All day. They'll literally walk in traffic if you don't, hey, you know what I mean? They glued. As soon as they done working out. Before the workout. Like, it's a different era, bro.
I think it does create a false perception, but at the same time, I feel like the basketball minds, we see through that shit.
Yeah, once you see it in person, you can tell. You can tell if it's
how they make their money, but like for example, right? And I'm gonna talk about this young man because that's a person who was viral and then tried to talk like he a real hooper, right? Little short guy,
Julian.
Or, I'm talking about.
See, I know because these kids, bro, that's all they be talking about, right? So I know who you talking about.
Yeah, bro.
The little short dude. I mean, it was nice on the media, and then until you get out there and you play real people, and you're like, oh, this shit is food.
Yeah, like it was like, to me, it's like, so I've seen Kill, right? I've seen Kill play. I've seen short players get a bucket. So
Yeah.
you can't tell me, oh yeah, oh yeah, his height is what? Nah, man, like
I watched Isaiah Thomas, little short ass, get folks though. Blues.
I'm already here. Yeah, he was a bucket getter.
The blue. I'm talking about before the NBA. Me and little buddy was in Italy.
Oh wow.
I'm watching him in Italy give pros the blues.
Sheesh.
Honey, didn't matter. You still got to come check this shit. And he hit that jumper deadly, deadly. You know what I'm saying? Like he creates space and he knocks shots down, bro.
I mean,
So that short shit, I ain't trying to hear that, man.
no, that's what I'm saying.
You're a pro.
It's like, and I'm gonna just speak quickly on this, man. I'm a huge Isaiah Thomas fan. Like when I say, like, I'm a fan of basketball, right? So I'm a fan of exceptional people, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when you see a person who's exceptional, you sit here and scratch your head like, and why not have an NBA spot, right? Another person, and you put him up earlier, John Wall, scratch my head. And why is he not in the A? You know what I'm saying? Like these dudes that can just.
It's the Cam Newton effect.
Yeah, man. It's
right. You sit back and you're like, is their personality bigger? Does their personality make other people? What's the word I'm looking for?
uncomfortable.
Uncomfortable, or yeah, it
does.
Is,
right?
It makes other people feel, because their level of confidence is so high, and they're what they are is so much that it makes other people uncomfortable and insecure. That's what it is. It makes other people insecure.
It's the Adam Silver effect, or do you think, because this is my thing, right? You look at players like with personality, like an Isaiah Thomas, like a John Wall, like a Mike Beasley, right? If you look at David Stearns, when he ran the NBA, he had a certain level of flexibility, because understanding that people of this kind of talent, right, they have certain ways. And now some people, they took it overboard, and I understand it, right? But I'm looking at these guys, and I remember there's been way other people who was way worse that played in the league way longer, and they gave way more chance to.
But things change, right?
Yeah.
Things change also, and some of these guys have A-type personalities. When I say A-type personalities, is that they have to be front seat. They're stars, right? They can't then go from A to maybe C and D section. You get what I'm saying?
Can't come from a star to being a role player.
That's tough. That's tough to do.
Yeah. Some dudes rather sit home than be a role player.
It's tough to do. It takes because those guys don't know how hard it is to not be that guy and have to be in a situation where you are a role player. You know how hard it is for you to have to watch and for you to get up and they expect instant off it. It's actually harder to me than like actually starting, bro. Cause like you come off they want an instant. You gotta hit your first couple decisions gotta be right.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have the leeway. They gonna go back to the guys that was playing, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a tough gig, bro. It's a tough way to make a bag right there.
No,
And
I agree.
a lot of guys that's used to having that rope and having that leeway to play through mistakes, and they got to go from A, where you can play through mistakes, to C and D, where you can't make but one or two. It's a little different. Those dudes ain't, the reason that they're there is because they didn't take a back seat to nobody. It's hard to turn that off.
Yeah, no, and then they should. And I honestly, like, and I just feel like I agree with you. I feel like these guys, technically, they put up the numbers when they were in those positions. They did exactly what a person in their position did. So why would they not be given the full keys? You know what I'm saying? Why are you giving them a rental when you're supposed to give them the whole thing? You know what I'm saying? But that's how it is, but that's how it happens.
There's politics, and there's a new batch of product coming in.
Yeah, and you know, like right? I said, everybody makes business decisions. You know, some people go with, you know, Adidas over Nikes, Pumas over, you know, different case. You know, the next question we got up here. I'm gonna skip to the second, go to the third one. Should mixtape culture be embraced or reeled in? I'm assuming reeled in the sense of just, you know, need to stop and desist. Need to relax a little bit.
I mean, it's the culture, bro. That's what the kids like, man. I like it too. I like being able to catch games that I normally wouldn't see or you know, watch. Yeah, I like it. I don't think it needs to be reeled in. I just think that, you know, the emphasis just needs to be put on development more than just playing. And I think that's why we're falling behind as far as like globally. Because it's just play here instead of developing skills and fundamentals.
Yeah, I mean, globally, I agree, brother. The talent coming from overseas is on another level, for sure. All right, so let's look at this next one right here. We tapped into NIL already, so we're gonna skip past that. All right, so boom. This question right here. I think G League Ignite already ended. There is no more G League Ignite, correct?
I think so. Yeah, they cut that off.
Right. So they cut G League Ignite off. All right. So
NIL stuff.
Right. Exactly. So as far as this question is concerning college basketball, right? Is college basketball still a relevant stepping stone? Obviously, it's a yes, right, because of NIL, but
yeah, NIL and TV, right? I mean, you go to Europe, you're gonna disappear for the year.
Yes.
Right. So if you want branding and you still want to build your brand up before the draft and your stock, yeah, the NCAA has always been a stepping stone, and it ain't gonna change until the Euro teams broadcast in America. Right. We talking about American players playing in America for sure. It's gonna be better branding for those guys.
No, I agree. I 100% agree, man. It's straightforward for sure. The last one, last couple few questions I got for you. We actually tied in a couple of these, but I'm gonna tie to X's one. How important is sports psychologically at the pro level? I think I'm gonna finish that one out. Finish it out with that one. How important is sports psychologically at the pro level? Meaning, like, you know, and we tapped in it a couple of times, but we kind of ironed in on this one question.
I mean, the psychology of sports, bro, is it's a mental game. You ever heard of that? Like they say, oh, it's a mental
90%.
Because you are what you think. That's why you got to be careful what you listen to. You got to be careful to who you let in for those opinions. Because some people can have you thinking that, oh, you can't do this or you can't do that. Some like, man, some of these coaches really try to kill your game off, man. And it's a shame. Instead of, you know, trying to help people blossom and grow, some of these guys are really haters, bro. They will try to dampen your game.
They try to tear you down, man. I agree. I feel like, you know, the question, you know, sports psychology, right? And I use that as an example, right? I look at people when you look at yourself and look at you can do more than just play basketball, right? I feel like the sports psychology carries on into all pro levels of life.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? I'll give you a good example of this, right? Of a guy who played sports, who adapted a sports mind and took that into something else. And now he's one of the best at doing that in his pro field. And that's the guy, Ryan Cogman.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Played football-minded guy.
Yes.
Sports-minded, took the same hours he would put in the weight room, right?
Just switched it over.
It's
all process. So now I get what you're saying. Again, it's all process, what you think, right? So if you're willing to develop your craft and put time into your craft and work on that day in and day out, whether you making or missing, right?
You're a pro because you're putting pro time.
And you're putting pro time into it. Why would anything else in your life be different? Like that's how I attack things. Like even with my schoolwork, I mean, it is what it is. You're gonna have to dedicate the time to it, just like you would working on your craft. You might have to go and hit these books 2-3 times a day. You see what I'm saying? Just like you would hit the gym 2-3 times a day, right? You stay in the gym 2 and 3 hours. Why not stay in the book 2-3 hours, right? It's the same process for everything. Like once you start to figure it out and you look at just the code and how things work and function, you'll start to see that pretty much everything is process.
Yeah, I mean, 100%. Like, brother, I promise you, like, taking basketball mind frame and all the years I put in it, moving it into business and looking at it like you said, the same thing. It's the easiest thing in life, and I feel like if more people were, I would say, stop limiting themselves, right? Stop putting themselves in a box.
Mm-hmm.
They would see, we would see more basketball players moving over into all different type of stuff, right?
Yeah.
When they're said and done, you know. So, man, appreciate your time, man, coming on here and talking to these guys, man. We gotta get let a lot for them to take in this episode. In closing out, man, you wanna tie and say anything to the people before we got here?
I just want everybody to know, like, we are creators, right? We're born to evolve. We're born to create. We're born to experiment with things, right? We're born to just try to be our best, highest self, man. So anybody out there that's, going through a hard time or trying to figure some things out in their life, man, just know that, if tomorrow comes, you got another opportunity at creating it, right? So just focus on your present moment and just trying to get better in that present moment. And that's helped me with a lot of times in my life where things were, bleak and weren't always the best. I always just focused on just let me get just a step at a time, right? Just focus on a step at a time. Remember that I'm a creator, and if I keep that creative flow moving forward, I'll be all right. I'll be fine because that's what I believe, and I'm telling myself that, right? Just like having faith in any religion that you're into, you're feeding yourself this, and you're believing it, and you're creating faith, right? So you got to have that same faith in your abilities to create these outcomes that you want in your life. So I'll leave everybody with that. Just stay positive, keep moving forward, and keep creating.
Yeah. I appreciate you, bro. Everybody listening, man. We'll tap into y'all next week, and see you soon.